The slavery past of the Dutch colonial empire. Was slave trade important to our economy? Why did we take most slaves from Africa, and how should we deal with this difficult history? It all started with the Europeans exploring the world in order to make profits. The Dutch East India Company, or VOC, got established in 1602. The Dutch East India Company was the largest trading and shipping company in the world in the 17th and 18th century. 20 years later, in 1621, the West India Company, or the WYC, got established. The West India Company mainly focused on buying African slaves and then selling them to the highest bidder, in America. Slavery is not accepted anymore, and most people agree with it not being acceptable. We found historian Tineke Stam and asked her some questions about slavery and her opinion on how we should deal with this difficult history. Tineke Stam studied history and has been busy with the subject slavery since 2003. She has worked on multiple projects like Mapping Slavery. Mapping Slavery maps the historical places of the slavery past of the Dutch colonial empire. To our question, was slave trade important to our economy? Tineke Stam answered, slavery had a great influence on our economy because products such as tobacco, cotton, sugar, and coffee were produced on plantations that were processed by slaves. People had more time for other things because many people had slaves at home for all kinds of odd jobs. A study estimates that slavery accounted for more than 7% of the economy. To our question, why were most slaves brought from Africa? She replied, the Native American population was used much less for slavery because they died of European diseases very quickly. In Africa you had many rich people who waged war with each other, and the prisoners of war and population of the conquered areas were enslaved. Those slaves were traded with Europeans for weapons and more goods. Getting slaves from Africa was also much easier because there had long been a large trade network between Europe and Africa. Her response to our question, how do you think we should deal with this difficult history, was, we have to talk about it a lot with each other and learn what happened. People must acknowledge mistakes that were made in the past. So in conclusion, the slave trade was important to our economy because slaves were processing a variety of different products and gave us more time because we let them do the odd jobs. Most slaves were taken from Africa because Native Americans could not handle European diseases, and there already was a trading network with parts of Africa. We should deal with this difficult history by acknowledging our mistakes while learning from them.